before I proceed, anyone has any other question, any other doubt? You can quickly ask me if you have. If not, then fine. Let us proceed. Okay. So then we can check once we install, right? We can check the TypeScript version also. So you guys can execute this query esc -v. Whoever already installed can see this message -v, which will say -v. And then if you wanted to init, let's say esc init, you can execute this command. This command will init your first Typescript file. For example, if I go to my terminal, let me see if I'm able to do it. Terminal. Okay, so let's say if I do esc -v, this version you will get it. Okay? Like the way you can see my screen, you're supposed to get it if it is installed successfully. Then if I say esc /init, see, this is tsconfig.json will be created. tsconfig.json will be created. Correct? So then once we have created this tsconfig.json is something we need, definitely we need, other than that we cannot work, but yes. So now I will be creating some file, some TypeScript file I will create, something I would say post.ts file. Okay, so this is something, so tsconfig.json, it is something where it will be the environment, module, everything will be there, and it mostly help us to run the program. A simple TypeScript program. Forget about Angular. We'll go to Angular, and as I mentioned, we're learning kind of Java now. But yes, as we know Java, so we don't have to spend much time on TypeScript because it's almost similar, only the syntactically difference. And Angular is like a framework, like a Spring Boot. So Spring Boot, we have a framework, right? So like that way, Angular is a framework. So now let us quickly explore a TypeScript file. Let's say first.ts file I have created. So if I say that first.ts file, you can see that I will create one, how we can write in ts file. That's also very important, how we are going to do certain job in ts file. It is exactly like a Java. As I mark you can mark my word, I will show you how, what I am saying. Okay, so now let us go to that.
So to write that first.ts file, I mean whatever the code there, we have to have this config JSON file already, or
A tsconfig is just to help you to convert or compile your code. That's it. So it's just like tsconfig.json you should be having. Okay, you should be having. Other than that, TypeScript will not be that sound. So tsconfig.json is kind of very important configuration. It's kind of a directory. From the directory, it kind of try to execute all these things. As the file, you can understand. So even if in Angular project also you can have a tsconfig.json file. You will see that. For every TypeScript project, we need to have this tsconfig.json. So whenever we will be having a compiler, right? So this compiler I mentioned, the TypeScript will be converted to JavaScript, correct? Because
yes,
JavaScript at the end of a day will go and execute in your browser. That we already discussed yesterday. So that can be done. That can only happen if you have it this tsconfig file. Okay, that is why every TypeScript project we should be having tsconfig.json. Clear? So
yes,
it
sir.
will be having the .ts file source, and it will, for example, once we compile, right? After compile, you will get a JavaScript file. So that compilation and can only happen with this tsconfig.json via tsconfig.
So it has to be there under that same folder.
Yes. Yeah. As of now, we are not creating any Angular framework, right? Just a Java file. So you can keep it anywhere, right? When we learn a basic Java, do we really mention the folder? Did we really structure the folder? No, right? We just created multiple Java files, just work called from one class to another class and make it work, right? Did we really bother about folder structure like a Spring Boot? We never, right? Okay, so we don't have to. So
Okay.
here we're supposed to write class. Likewise, Java we write class, right? And the file name here it has to be first. So this is your simple, like a normal Java class. How you write a normal Java class? You have to write like this, and the file name, whatever you're giving the TypeScript file name, the class name has to match exactly. Clear? There's no confusion. So now let me, so this class I have created, I will declare a couple of instance variables. Let's say I declare instance variable. I can have a constructor also, like with Java. So let's say data string, and let's say index int. No, sorry. What is that problem? Property no initializer. Okay, you can initialize int 0 type int is equal to unresolved. Okay, make it. You can use any. I'll come to that. What are the different data types we have? I will speak after this. Soon after this. What are the different data types we have in TypeScript options? Likewise, Java we have. You don't have here integer. Rather, here we have called number.
Number.
Okay, number. I'll tell you. I'll tell you that list. I'll give you the list. What are the different data types you can have? You can have an array also. Let's say if I say that if I wanted to create an array, let's say index I have taken. I will take count. Any also, any means anything. The very important, very flexible thing is any. So for example, index, if I put any, that means index can be integer, index can be float, index can be string, anything. So that is why sometimes we use any just for our purpose. The problem using any is it will capture the memory again, because this data type, right? Likewise Java, likewise SQL. Here also you should be remembering this data type means you should be capturing the memory. If you have a string, obviously you should be having a length, or maybe integer, you should be having a number, you should be having a length. So all these things you have to remember, correct? So that is, I will speak after this, the data type and details. Next, I have created the instance variable. Now let me create a couple of what you call constructor. Let me create constructor. You see, the constructor will be there. So this is called no argument constructor. You can have another constructor which is called parameterized constructor. See, being a Java developer, for you it is nothing new. I can pass data, I can pass count, I can pass index, fine. So, so once we pass that, sorry, I need to pass the data type as well. Data colon, sorry, count colon number, index colon integer, sorry, int, something like that. And same like this, this keyword is also here. This dot data, the class instance, right? Data. See, that is why I said we don't have to spend much time here because we know Java. That is why it's an advantage for us to explore this Angular and this TypeScript. Angular 1 is with pure JavaScript. Does pure JavaScript having the difficulties I mentioned? Okay. So I will remove one constructor. I will keep this constructor. Parameterized constructor. Now, if you say that what we will going to do the next, can I create an object of first? Yes, you can. You are absolutely you can do that. Create an object of that. And now where you can do that, I will show you where you can create an object. So let's say I
So we
say
don't go
one.
with like a constructor name is fast because in Java we
No,
have.
here no no here you don't have, right?
Okay,
Here you don't have.
just
Here
constructor
you don't
keyword.
need actually. Here you don't need. Okay. Now let me create an object. Let's say I say let object is equal to new first. Same thing, new object. Here I can say data as a string. Sorry, here we generally use single quote. Test index is one. That is any, right? Index I will use. Well, that's it. Now if I say console.log, right? Here you cannot do system.out.println uh, because this is going to run in browser. So let's say data received something called object dot data. So whatever you pass here, supposed to come here. So just a concatenation. You can give comma also. Yes. Comma also here concatenation. It works as a concatenation, like a plus, like a plus. Okay. So now if I see, if I save it, if I simply save it, and next, as per the steps, sorry, as per the steps, after doing init, once we do init, next is I wanted to execute. So execute is another very important steps. So how to do that? That is something called simply type tsc. If you simply type tsc, automatically you can see a JS file being created. See, tsc is nothing but to compile. Just I will write something here to compile Typescript. Likewise, we use Java C, right? Remember in Java, if you compare and study, it will not be complex one. TypeScript, right? To compile TypeScript. To initialize tsconfig dot here. So now you can see if I open first.java, see first.js file. This is this is your TypeScript. I think JavaScript. Yeah, use strict, and they can have like this completely constructor. See, constructor is kind of a method to it, and then it is passing directly the data, everything. Now this is your JavaScript file. That's okay. Now I will be executing. So what to be execute? What do you execute? Your what you call your TypeScript? Answer is no. I mentioned you have to run your JavaScript file. So node first.js. See, data receive test. Can you get a similarity? Can we get a similarity, everyone, with the Java that we know? Everyone, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Huh? So what is the similarity?
One question. So why did you write the node first.js?
Node, because to execute. Likewise, if you, that's I mentioned. Do you see any similarity in Java?
Yeah,
Do you
TSC
remember
is the
Java C?
compiling, right?
No, no.
Java
TSC is for compiling, like a Java C. Then for execute, see, this is a syntax. You cannot say, because at the end of a day, node is executing your TypeScript file at the end of a day. Correct. So that is why with the help of node we are executing. There we have a Java runtime environment we have, JRE. That is why you can simply type Java and the class file name. Class file name. Dot class file name, right? Similarly, here also, after compiling, we get the .js file. Once we have a .js file, you can simply just execute it, right? For execution, we use the node to execute any TypeScript file. And once we execute any TypeScript file, we should be having node space that JS file name, that compile file name. This is if you wanted to execute only the TypeScript. Ideally, if you go to Angular framework, you don't execute like this. But if you want to execute only TypeScript file, you have to use like this. Like I'm executing a single Java file, likewise. But if you go for Spring Boot, it's a whole different game, right? There you don't execute a single Java file, right? You execute the whole program. Likewise, when once you introduce Angular, it is the entire thing. You will not be executing a single TypeScript file there. You will be executing HTML plus TypeScript plus CSS, so many every other files. Correct. So there it is a different ball game once we land to Angular framework. But here Likewise, the single Java file execution we are learning how single TypeScript file can be executed. That's it. Yeah.
Sir, and
Execution.
this command number 3, tsc dash dash init, do we have to run this every time, like whenever we make changes in the same file,
No,
or
no, 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 no. Don't have. It's only one time. The
for
beginning.
each new file, or
No, no, no. Each project, this is a project wise.
hmm.
Entire this project, you likewise your form.xml. You create multiple form.xml? No, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like this. This is kind of, you can consider this is a configuration file which is providing the directory and helping the compiler to convert your TypeScript to JavaScript. That's it. Okay.
So for each project we have to run that first.
Yes, each project, not each file. You can have a number of files in a project, right?
Yeah.
Which helps to provide support to convert from TypeScript dot ps to dot j. Yeah. Okay. So now next part, we understood how to create a JavaScript file, TypeScript file and everything. Now we will quickly talk about the data types. That what are the data types is available here, and what are the return type we can use, and so many things, right? So like we also here we have a two type of data type, likewise Java, primitive and non-primitive. How and what, I'll explain it quickly. Here also we have a primitive data type. How primitive data types? Uh, so here I am next topic that I am going to say, data types. We have already seen the data types. We already see the data we are declaring here, something, a string, number, any, what are these? So we will first talk about that. Likewise, Java, we know the data types, right? Similar fashion, we should be having a TypeScript. TypeScript should also be a kind of a data, there also you have, right? So okay, so now let's go to there.
You haven't run it right in browser. The
No, you don't have to execute the whole project, right? Rather, this will be
first.ts.
your, yeah, that's right. You have executed, right? You can see in my console. Can't you see the data receipt test? What is that?
Oh,
That is
okay.
nothing but
Yeah.
we have written here, right? Data receipt.
Yeah.
So we have initialized we have created the object, and then object we are getting the access the instance again.
Yes, I see.
Where via constructor we have initialized the data, right? Yeah. Okay. Now let me go over the details. Okay, sorry. Uh, Here, data types. So we have number. Number is one data type. What is that? Number data type is something which says that if you have something, that means it is kind of a 64-bit double precision. Okay. Both it supports, in this particular case, there we have a float, integer and all, right? It is 64-bit double precision. Precision which support both integer and fraction. So fraction, how it is? Like for example, number you can do. For example, if you say, can I assign 10.3? Let's say if I go here again, if I say, if I can, let's say 1.12, can I do that? Yes, you can. But in Java, you need to specify integer, float, double, whatever it is, right? Here you can do that. Again, I can compile it. ESC. You have to compile. Once, if you don't compile, you won't be getting the latest result, right? So note first. Okay, so let me add comma float or count data, comma, object dot count. So I will again do the tsc, again execute. See, 1.12. So even there is a number, I can pass fraction as well. So it can support both. So these are the flexibility, not like other language. Yeah. So next is string. We know that use of string is a sequence of characters. That's it. We can have a string happily. Don't have any problem in that. So we can have a different things, booleans. This is all a part of your primitive. Primitive data type. This is your primitive data type. And we will have non-primitive data types. We can have that as non-primitive data type. So then it's boolean. I will come to that. So that what is that? So boolean, simply true false. There is no explanation needed on this, I believe. Void return type can be void. Likewise Java. See, these are all not unknown to all of you. Already known just because we are Java developers. Okay, and then we can have another one which is called any. Any is a very important one. Any which can support any data. It can be boolean, it can be integer. If you say that, okay, my intention was to declare this as a boolean. Okay, pass. We will see that whether I am able to get it. That index parameter, comma, object dot index. That's it. Fine. So I have passed through this time. Again compile. Again execute. See? Any can support anything. Whatever you want, whatever you need to pass it. So whenever you are not sure about the data type, so this is kind of a flexibility. In Java, it is very rigid. You have to pass boolean if you want to use it as a boolean. But this is the flexibility of Typescript that we have. If you are not sure what data type it could be, it can be string, it can be boolean. Okay, keep it any. Don't need to bother. Whatever data comes, it will consume. It will not fly. Correct? It can consume the data. If you are passing boolean, it will consume as a boolean, integer, a number, and then your what you call string.
So every time we have to run this, we have to type tsc and then node first.
Likewise Java C and Java, right? For example, if I am executing, because this is we don't have a clear-cut editor like your IntelliJ or Eclipse, right? Here we have, that's why we are happily run the Java file, single Java file with a main method. But here we don't have, right? We are doing in this what you call your types, what you call your MS, our this Visual Studio, right? So there we don't have any compiler, inbuilt compiler and executor, right? Interpreter. So that's why we need to have manually executing like Java C and Java. Likewise, if you execute the program via command prompt, Java program via command prompt. Similarly, every time you do certain changes, you have to do Java C. Have to compile first. Whatever latest code you have needs to be compiled, right? Then it needs to be executed. Then Java. Similar fashion. So there is no difference on that. Clear? Yeah.
Yes.
So that is just because we don't have any compile. If you don't have maybe IntelliJ or Eclipse, then you would have also done the same way for a like application, whatever you practice, right? Just because of IntelliJ and Eclipse, they have a pre-compiler installed and they have an interpreter or executor installed. The runtime environment has been configured. it was easy for us to execute. Simply click on the run button, things are working. But here, not that easy. Okay, so now let's continue. Let's see about the primitive. This is all of the primitive data type. Let us quickly see about non-primitive data type. What are the non-primitive data type? It is likewise Java. Here also non-primitive data type. You mean we have like that. There's something called string, capital S string. Then number. Sorry, number. Then boolean. You can have this. We support this in TypeScript as well, like this. It's a kind of an object. Sorry, don't go with that one. So once we have a boolean object, so boolean we can have like that. Then another thing is there, something called array. Array also we can have here. Then something called tuples. Tuples generally we don't, I think, alias, not TLS. Alias. Tuples generally it is all homogeneous data. Homogeneous data. And tuples consider heterogeneous data. Mostly we haven't used much tuples in Java, but if you have a knowledge about Python you use tuples. Then we have a heterogeneous data. So what is a heterogeneous data means? For example, if I say array of string, so it has to be all attributes, all elements in the array has to be shown. I cannot have integer there. But if I have say tuples can have both integer string combination. It can have inside tuples. That's called heterogeneous data. Homogeneous means if it is an array of string, has to be string. I will show you. Now come back, same place. I will add a few more parameters just to show an example. This is whatever we are doing. We are doing simply an example that how we can do apply the array, tuples, everything. Okay. I will show you the array declaration here.
So like
That's also very easy.
tuples is like the wrapper class of any.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a wrapper class only. Wrapper class only. So for example, if I say, let's say I wanted to create something, some record is equal to new string. See, same thing. We have done same similar kind of thing, right? In Java, if I wanted to use a wrapper class, so let's say record, I have taken this one, some other, let's say number is equal to new number. You can do this. You can do this. No problem. Instead of primitive, only thing is your memory will be like it is like an object, and that is like a primitive data. Likewise, number we can have boolean also. Bool is equal to new boolean. That's it. You can have it. Here. So now let's say I wanted to declare an array. How to declare an array? Here. Let's say I wanted to declare one number array. You have to give a colon here. That colon is very important just because the type you have to mention. What is the data type of that? It is a number array. And I can initialize the array too. Array can be initialized with your square bracket. The array structure. Let's say I say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. That's a number array. And we can do in a different way also. Let's say if I wanted to say that, okay, can I have a string array in a different format, different way, different structure? I can say new array of type string. That's also possible. That's also possible. This is also there. This is the way also. So why I'm learning, or why we are learning this? Why I'm teaching this one? Because similar way we are going to declare variable in Angular. Angular again. Do you separately learn Spring Boot declaration data type, declaration of a data or data type? You have learned separately? No, right? We have learned in Java, and that's what the expectation is. Same we will be applying in Spring Boot. That is why we are learning this data type and all concept here, so that we can easily apply it. Okay. Here. So now we have declared string. We can declare tuples. Tuples is equal to So the tuples we can declare like this. Let's say you can directly declare actually heterogeneous, right? Let's say I can say one comma test comma hello. See, all are heterogeneous data 12.43 comma true. That I can do in tuples. I cannot do in any other places. In array you cannot do it. So now let me pass all these parameters so that I can assign those. I can add those parameters here, boolean and all,
So
and then we'll do certain
line
operations.
number 9 is like
Hmm.
a array list kind of thing with generic string.
Which one? Line number
Line,
9. In
yeah,
the string array, right? I'll
yeah.
show you that string array you can push the data. You can push the data in array. No, I'll show you. I'll create certain methods. I'll pass here parameters. Let's say I say here record colon string, this primitive data type. Difference is nothing. Now if you say that, so what is the difference? Only the space and the object. There are also objectives created, right? So there is no data type will be exactly same, right? Let's say bull colon boolean. That's it. Each dot record is equal to record. I'll pass the data. This dot number is equal to number. Okay. This dot bull is equal to bull.
So here is no something like generator. We have to just type in, right?
No, here we don't have any generator. So
Okay.
not like IntelliJ. I mean, IntelliJ is not supporting like that way. I mentioned, right? So not
Yeah.
everything will get that like a flavor like Java. I mean, flavor in the sense the code writing wise, but it's okay. It's don't need too much here. Java is quite strict in terms of your, but this TypeScript is you can match with Python. It's don't have to worry about the first capital letter, small letter, but Java is like very particular about the because of the compiler. But this TypeScript compiler is pretty much relaxed. You don't have to worry about much of it. Okay, now let's see that. Okay, string I mentioned. So I need to pass string. Let's say hello number 34 boolean true or false. Again first. That's it. So object has been created. Now I will create some methods. Let's say I create how to create a function or methods here. That is also very important, right? In TypeScript, how we generally create a function. So here we let's say I say get what is that array name? Get number array element. Array element. So here I need to say here in here you don't have to give that method signature. Sorry, method signature you have to give. My bad. So what I'm trying to say is here you need to give this one. So this will return it's a number. This is a return type. This is a return type. So how we are going to return? I will show you. Same like a Java. I will say return this dot number array of let's say third element index. Whatever index 0, 1, 2, 3. 5 should be my output if I do return. Now say that can I print that here? Yes, you can. You can capture that as a number. Sorry, you can say let n is equal to object dot get number element. That's it. You get it. Once you get it, you can simply do console dot log. You can play around and please do play because then only you will be able to get it more hold. Okay, so let's say number array we are getting, then let's say construct or let's say build array. I will be returning string or rather I would say array of string. I'll be returning like that. Okay. So now here it is like, let's say this, I'll pass certain parameter, the value. Let's say I say val1 string comma. See the method argument I am passing string like that. So that's it. I'll do this dot string array. What is the array name? str. Dot push. See pop and push, and here also we pass value 1, and this dot string array dot push, I can say value 2, done, and I can return this dot str array. That's it. That's a return type, right? Now I can get it here. I can say that okay, let b or a is equal to object dot build array. I will pass certain parameter. Let's say I say go home. That's it. Okay. And I can, let's print about not confirm console dot log. We can say okay, done. Yes, so I have done this much. Tuples also I can use. Tuple also I can
So
utilize, and
what
I
is
can
this
get
push
it.
here, like push?
Push is something which is push is something which is giving you the information about your. So it is just pushing to the array. Likewise, we do like array of I is equal to the element, right? Or add the element in the list, right? Likewise, push here is the same thing. Push here
Okay.
is just pushing the element to the array. Correct? Adding the element to the array. That's it. Pop means removing the element of the array. Slice also same thing.
Like
Removing the
add or
element.
remove function, I mean,
Yes.
therein.
Absolutely. Correct. So, and we can get the tuple data also. Let's say tuple data I wanted to capture. Let up data is equal to object dot tuple. Let's say anything. Three. Third position. 0, 1, 2, 3. That's it. I'll get it here. Console dot log. I can say up data. Yes. Now, same thing. Execution. Compile. Execution. See, everything has come. Whatever I want. Does not look like Java. Is it very difficult to understand for you? And that's it about the TypeScript. Nothing else. I'll show you how to create an interface also. Interface also we can create here. And you can extend the very similar way. That's what I mentioned. Being a Java developer, learning TypeScript is not a, rather Angular is not a very important or very difficult task. You can, simply you can. Even React also you can. But React is little different. TypeScript is purely object oriented. That's why it is easy for us to understand. We will not take much time to understand because the similar things we have done in Java. It is easy for us. For line number 31, whoever not done Java, it's difficult for them to understand what is there we are doing, new keyword and all. For you, it's already known to you. You don't need any explanation that if I need to access any attribute of that particular class, then I need to create an object and access it. That's it. Make sense, everyone?
So does it have like a uh, what do you call the extension,
Extension means?
like what we extend in our Java?
Yeah, I mean interface you mean?
Yeah, we extend the class.
Yeah,
We implement the
I'll,
class and
I'll,
also
I'll,
extend
I'll, I'll show you. I'll show you that. I'll create one.
inheritance concept.
Let's say Yeah, something. Let's say I will create one new file. Let's say what I can say. Let's say first, or rather instead of first, I can say the file first interface. Generally, we give name in TypeScript like this. There in Java, we write camel case, right? Here, always we should write all in small. And if you wanted to join two words, it has to be with a dash. That's the format, or that's a industry standard that we follow. The name of a file. If it is single name, it's fine, like first.ts, no problem. If I wanted to write a kind of a like first interface, then two different words has to be connected. No camel casing. Here we follow dash, and this has to be .ts file. So we have created .ts file again. So now we need to, instead of class, I would say interface. 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 Let's say first practice. Here you can type your camel case. File name can be normal like that, but here you can have like this. Let's say I say string get data. That's it. Get data. That's it. So I simply declare the data, sorry, my bad. This is I have done for like a Java. This will be like difference. Here it will be like this. Return type of string, and this is my method. Now if I come to first.ts, here I can implement that same thing. Your first interface. Oh, sorry, why it is not capturing first interface? Because it has to, right? 1 second. Implement first practice. Sorry, my bad. Not first interface. I did change. Okay, let me change first interface. Fine. So say automatically it will give you error. It will say that you have to view problem. If you do view problem, you can see the problem. Get data is missing,
Do you have to
which
override
is
that?
same thing. Same thing. That's why Visual Studio Code also it's not a bad one. You can use it. See? Get data will come. See, get data has come. Instead of doing this, I should say return, let's say any of this string array of element 1. Let's say I'm doing that. I simply call that let, or you can directly put in console.log also. Console.log, you can say object dot get data. That's it. No problem. I will now, you can see TSC automatically first interface.js also creates. See, I don't have to do anything. Maybe in Java we have to write Java C and the file name, but here you don't have to write. If you simply write TSC, whatever file you have, TS file, which has to convert it to .js file. Now if I simply execute the JS, see, home has come. That is supposed to come, right? First position, whatever in that in my array. Clear? Any questions here? And the very last thing, probably I wrap it up because my system battery is draining. So I would say this is like user defined types, data type or type you can say, class, tuples. Tuples anyways we can have it. Let's say enum also you can use, interface, Then you can say about yeah, this one, something called tuples.
Array tuples.
Yes, array. Um, Small array also you can do. Let's say tuples like that. Fine. So these are the user-defined types. You can define your custom tuples also. I think this will be small too. This is array also you can do custom array. This is user-defined types. So we can create this. But for our Angular project, that class and interface is enough. We can manage. So this is all about TypeScript. You don't have to do anything extra from this. Don't have to do anything extra out of it. Clear? Anybody has any question on the execution? Please go over it. I will try to push the code. Let me see if I'm able to push the code. Let me commit. Okay. So I will commit these changes so you guys will get it. Fine. Here also you can do commit. Source control, you can put a message and you can do it. But it's sometimes let me. Is it doing something? Nothing can be written. You commit you can do. Visual Studio Code also a lot of people use for. Generally, we can use our IntelliJ also, but you don't have the Ultimate Edition, right? So that's why we cannot use IntelliJ because IntelliJ Ultimate Edition supports Angular framework. So that is why we can use that, or else we can use this one, Visual Studio Code, which is very effective. Visual Studio Code supports Java also. If you write Java program, it is good to write. Okay. Yep. Any doubt, guys, before we close for today? Because another 5 minutes I might give. Because my laptop is almost done. I'm just going through it. Any question? Anyone?
After practicing, sir.
Yes, you have to do practice. That's the first and foremost thing is needed here. And tomorrow and day after, we will be learning about Angular framework, and then we'll close the session. You can have the ample time, but make sure you are doing this, whatever you are learning here, you are practicing your home. Let me push the code. This is taking a lot of time.